걸고 있습니다. 네, 그래서 원서를 한번 읽어보도록 하겠습니다. Think of the body as a finely tuned instrument that produces proteins. Every one of our cells, except red cells, makes proteins, which are responsible for the body, physical structure, and physiological function. For example, muscle cells make specific proteins known as actin, and myosin, and the skin cells make the proteins collagen and elastin. Immune cells make antibodies. Thyroid cells make thyroxine. I see. And the bone marrow cells make hemoglobin. Bone marrow. Okay. Some of our eye cells make keratin. Okay. While our pancreatic cells make enzymes like protease, lipase, and amylase. Pancreatic cell and the pancreas. Okay. There isn't an organ or a system in the body that does not rely on produce proteins. That's protein works. Okay. They are a vital part of our immune system, digestion, cellular repair, and the bone and muscle structure. You name it. They are part of it. In a very real way, then, the expression of protein is expression of a life is equal to health of your body. In order for the cell to make a protein, a gene must be expressed. That's the job of the genes, to facilitate and make proteins. When the signal from the environment outside of the cell reaches the cell membrane, the chemical is accepted by the receptor outside of the cell, and it makes its way to DNA inside the cell. Okay, cell membrane. Then a gene makes a new protein that's equal to the signal. So if the information coming from outside of the cell does not change, the gene keeps on making the same protein and the body stays the same. I see. Over time, the gene will begin to downregulate. It will either shut off its healthy expression of proteins, or it will eventually wear out, like in making a copy of a copy of a copy, causing the body to express a different quality of proteins. Different classification of stimuli upgrade and downgrade genes. We activate experiencing dependent genes, for example, by doing new things or learning new information. These genes are responsible for stem cells and getting the instructions to differentiate, transforming into whatever type of the cell the body needs at a particular time to replace the cells that are damaged. Okay, we activate behavioral state dependent genes when we are in high level of stress or arousal, or in alternate state of awareness, like dreaming. You can think of these genes as a fulcrum of the mind-body connection because they provide a link between our thoughts and our bodies, allowing us to influence our physical health through the variation behaviors, meditation, prayer, or social rituals. For example, when genes are altered in this way, sometimes within minutes, those altered in a gene can then be passed to the next generation. So when you change your emotions, you can change the expression of your genes, turning some on and others off, because you are sending a new chemical signal to your DNA, which can then instruct your genes to make different proteins, upregulating or downregulating to make all kinds of new building blocks that can change the structure and function of your body. For example, if your immune system has been subject to living emotions of stress for long for too long, and it has a certain genes that are activated for immune inflammation and disease. You can turn on new genes for the growth and repair, and the switch off the old genes that are responsible for disease. At the same time, these epigenetically altered genes will begin to follow new instructions, making new proteins, and program the body for growth, repair, and healing. This is how you can successfully recondition your body to new mind. So as you read earlier in this chapter, this means that if you are living by the same emotions day in, day out, your body believes and it's in the same environmental conditions, then those feelings influencing you to make the same choices, causing you to demonstrate the same habits and then create the same experiences and then producing the same emotions and all over again. Thanks to these automatic programmed habits, your cells are constantly being exposed to the same chemical environment outside your body, in your environment as well as outside the cells, but within your body. That chemistry keeps signaling the same genes in the same way, and so you are stuck. Because you stay the same, your genetic expression stays the same. And now you are headed for a genetic destiny because you don't have any new information coming from the environment. Okay. If you've spent years in a condition your body to do cycle overthinking and feeling, and then feeling and thinking without realizing it, you've also conditioned your body to become addicted to these emotions. So simply changing external environment by, say, getting a new job doesn't necessarily break that addiction any more than someone addicted to drugs would be able to stop their cravings just by winning the lottery or moving to Hawaii. Because of the thinking feeling loop, sooner or later, after the novelty of the experience is over, most people return to their baseline emotional state, and the body believes it is the same old expression that creates the same old emotions. So if you're miserable in your old job, but manage to get a new job, you might be happy for a week or even a few months. But if you had spent years conditioning your body to addicted to your misery, you will eventually return to that old emotion because your body would crave and eat chemical fix. Your outer environment may have changed, but your body will always believe its internal chemistry more than its external conditions. So it remains emotionally locked into an old state of being, still addicted to those old emotions. That's just another way of saying they're still living in the past. And because their internal chemistry hasn't changed, you can change the expression of your genes to make a new proteins in order to improve the structure or the function of your body. So there is no change in your health or your life. That's why I say you have to think greater than the way you feel to make any real, lasting changes. We measured immunoglobulin a protein marker for the strength of the immune system. IgA is an incredibly powerful chemical, one of the primary proteins responsible for healthy immune function and the internal defense system. It's constantly fighting a barrage of bacteria, virus, fungi, and other organisms that invade or are already living within our body's internal environment. It's so powerful that it's better than any flu shot or immune system booster you could possibly take. When it's inactivated, it's the primary internal defense system in the human body. When stress levels, and therefore the levels of stress hormone like cortisol go up, this lowers the levels of IgA, thereby compromising and downregulating the immune system's expression of the gene that makes this protein. During our 4-day workshop, we asked our study participants to move into an elevated emotion state such as love, joy, inspiration, or gratitude for the 9 to 10 minutes 3 times a day. If we could elevate our emotions, we wondered, could we boost our immune system? In other words, and could our strength and upgrade the genes of our IgA simply by changing their emotional states? This means that you might not need pharmacy or exogenous substance to heal you. You have the power from within upregulate the genes that make IgA within a few days. Something as simple as moving into an elevated state of joy, love, inspiration, or gratitude for 5 to 10 minutes a day can produce significant epigenetic changes in your health and body. Where attention goes, energy flows. Since where you place your attention is where you place your energy, when you wake up in the morning and immediately start putting your attention and energy on all the people you have to see that day, the places you have to go, the objects you own, and the things that you have to do in the three-dimensional world, your energy becomes fractured. All of your creative energy is flowing away from you. As figure 2.5, creative energy illustrates to all the things in and outer world that compete for your attention. Your cell phone, your laptop, your bank account, your house, your job, your co-workers, your spouse, your kids, your enemies, your pets, your medical conditions, and so on. Take a glance at figure 2.5. It is obvious that most people's attention and energy are directed to the outer material world. It begs the question, how much energy do you have left in your inner world of thoughts and feelings to create a new reality? Consider for a moment that each of these people or things that you give so much attention to is unknown in your life because we've experienced it. As I mentioned earlier in the chapter, you have a neurological network in your brain for each one of those things. Since they're mapped in your brain, you perceive and also experience them from your past. And the more you keep experiencing them, and the more automatic and rich the neural circuits for each of them become, because the redundancy of various experiences keeps resembling and refining more and more circuits. That's what experience does, enriches in the brain. So you have the neurological network about your boss, and neurological network about money, and neurological network about your partner, a neurological network about your kids, a neurological network for your financial situation, a neurological network for your house, and a neurological network about your physical world positions. Because you've experienced all of these people or things at different time and places. Okay. When your attention and therefore your energy is divided between all these outer world objects, people, problems, and issues, there is no energy left for you to put on your inner world of thoughts and the feelings. So there is no energy left for you to use to create something new. Why? Because how you think and how you feel literally creates your personal reality. Okay, therefore, if your thinking and feeling equal to everything that you know, that's the known. You keep reaffirming the same life. In fact, we could say that your personality is no longer creating your personal reality. Now, your personal reality is creating your personality. Okay, your external environment is controlling your thoughts and feelings. There is a biological match between your inner world of thoughts and feelings and your outer world, past present reality, made of people and objects at certain times and places. You are continuously keeping your life the same because you are keeping your attention thoughts and your energy feelings the same. Okay. Finally, if how you think and how you feel broadcasts an electromagnetic signature that influences in every area of your life, you're broadcasting the same electromagnetic energy and your life changes. You could say that your energy is equal to everything in your past and present reality, and you are recreating the past. That's not the only limitation that occurs, though. When you place all your attention and energy on the outer world, and you keep reacting to the same conditions in the same way, in a state of chronic stress, which causes the brain to be in a constant state of arousal, your inner world becomes imbalanced and your brain begins to work inefficiently. And then you become less effective in creating anything at all. In other words, you become a victim of your life instead of the creator of your life. Okay. Living by the hormones of stress. Now let's just take a closer look at how we end up getting addicted to the negative emotions, or more precisely, what we call the hormones of stress. The moment we react to any condition in our outer world that tends to be threatening, whether the threat is real or imagined, our body releases stress hormones in order to mobilize enormous amounts of energy in response to that threat. When this occurs, the body moves in and out of balance. That's exactly what stress is. Out of balance, right? Unstable. Okay. 아이고 아이고 아이고. 내가 하고 봐요. 연락 와. 어머 사장님. Brenner. Okay, you can go. If you want, you can go. You sent me a signal, right? You really wanna go. Oh, yes. I don't know why I always did that. I don't know exactly what it's thinking. Okay. Where is it? Whether the threat is real or imagined, our body releases stress hormones in order to mobilize enormous amounts of energy in response to that threat. When this occurs, the body moves in and out of balance. That's exactly what stress is. This is a natural and a healthy response because it is anti-coitive, the chemical cocktail of the adrenaline and cortisol, and similar hormones were released when we are facing some danger in the outer world. Maybe a predator is chasing us, for example, and we had to make a decision to fight, run, or hide. When we are in survival mode, we automatically become materialists, defining reality with our senses. By what we can see, hear, smell, feel, and state. We also narrow our focus and put all our attention or matter on our bodies existing in a particular space and time. The hormones of stress cause us to give all our attention to our outer world because that's where the danger lurks. Back in the days of early humans, of course, this response wasn't a good thing. It wasn't adaptive. It kept us alive. And once we had to focus our attention on the cause and then the danger had passed, the levels of all those stress hormones went back into balance. doctor threatened me from reading, so it's okay. I think I feel hungry and I feel a little bit energy free. I think so, but okay. Let's focus for about how many minutes? 6 minutes. Okay, I can do it. I can do it. Okay. Back in the days of early humans, of course, this response was a good thing. It was adapted. It kept us alive. And once we had focus and attention on the cause, and then the danger had passed, the levels of all those stress hormones went back into balance. But in modern times, there is no longer the case. After just one phone call or an email from our boss or a family member that elicits a strong emotion reaction, such as anger, frustration, fear, anxiety, sadness, guilt, and suffering, or shame, we turn on the primitive fight or flight nervous system, causing us to react as if we were being chased by the predator. The same chemistry automatically stays switched on because an external threat never seems to go away. The truth is that many of us spend the majority of majority of our time in the state of heightened arousal. It's become chronic. It's as though the predator is not out there in the wild, making an occasional toothy appearance. But instead of living in the same cave as we are, a toxic coworker whose desk is right next to us, for example. A toxic coworker whose desk is right next to us, and for example, such a chronic stress response is not adaptive. It's maladaptive. When we live in a survival mode, and those hormones and stress like adrenaline and cortisol keep pumping through our body, we stand on a high alert instead of returning to balance. As in Anna experienced in chapter 1, when this imbalance is maintained in the long term, chances are we headed for disease because long-term stress regulates the health expression of genes. In fact, our bodies become so conditioned to this rush of chemicals that they become addicted to them. Our bodies actually crave them in this mood. Our brains become overly alert and aroused as we try to predict, control, and force outcomes in an effort to increase our chances of survival. And the more we do this, the stronger the addiction becomes, and the more we believe in our bodies connect to the identities in our environment, living in the lane of time. That's because that's where all of our attention is. And our brain is aroused, and we are living in survival mode. And you have to keep shifting your attention to your job, to the news, to your ex, to your friends, to your emails, and to Facebook, and to Twitter. You're activating each of these different neurological networks very quickly. Okay, review figure 2.5. If you keep doing this over time, the activity habitually narrowing your focus. Yes, 맞아요. And the shifting your attention and compartmentalizes. Compartmentals. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not sure. Compartmentalizes. Compartmentalizes. I feel like that. Compartmentalizes your brain, and it is no longer working in balanced fashion. And when that happens, you're training your brain to fight in this disordered, incoherent pattern, which causes it to work very inefficiently. For each other word and a person or thing or place that you've experienced in your life that is unknown, you have an emotion connected to it, because emotions, which are energy emotion, are the chemical residue in experience. And even most of the time you are living by those addictive stress hormones, you may use your person to reaffirm your addiction to judgment. You may use your co-workers and reaffirm your addiction to competition. You may use your friends to affirm your addiction to suffering. You may use your enemies and reaffirm your addiction to hatred. Your parents need to reaffirm to your addiction to guilt. Your Facebook feed and affirm your addiction to insecurity. The news to reaffirm your addiction to anger. Your ads to reaffirm your addiction to resentment. And your relationship and money to reaffirm your addiction to lack. These major emotions, your energy, and their coming life, even bonded with every person, place, or thing you experience it alone. Familiar reality. 배가 고프네요. And that means there is no energy available for you to create a new job, a new relationship, a new financial situation, a new life, or even newly healed body. Let me say it another way. If how you think and how you feel determines the frequency and information you are emitting in your energy field, which has a significant effect on your life, and if all your attention, and so all your energy is tied up in your outer world of people, objects, things, places, and time, there is no energy left in your inner world of thoughts and feelings. Therefore, the stronger the emotion you're addicted to, the more you will place your attention on that person, object, place, or circumstances in your outer world. 맞아요, that's right, that's correct. Oh my gosh. Giving away most of your creative energy and causing you to feel and think equal to everything you know. It becomes difficult to think or feel in any new ways when you're addicted to an outer world, and it's possible that you can become addicted to all the people and things in your life that are causing all your problems in your first place. That's how you give your power away and mismanage your energy. Okay, on the left side of the diagram you see two atoms bonded by an invisible field of energy. They're sharing information. It's energy that isn't bonding them together. On the right side of the diagram you see two people who are sharing an experience of resentment and who are also bonded in an invisible field of energy that keeps them connected energetically. In truth, they are sharing the same energy and so the same information. Okay. What do I mean by environment within our body? As I said previously. Oh, I think I got the spoon here. Okay. For each outer world, the person or thing or place you've experienced in your life that is unknown. You have an emotion connected to it because emotions, which are energy emotion, are the chemical residue of experience. And even most of the time you are living with those addictive stress hormones, you may use your boss to reaffirm your addiction to judgment. You may use your co-workers to reaffirm your addiction to the competition. You may use your friends to reaffirm your addiction to suffering. You may use your enemies to reaffirm your addiction to hatred, your parents to reaffirm your addiction to guilt, your Facebook feed to reaffirm your addiction to insecurity, the news to reaffirm your addiction to anger, your ex to reaffirm your addiction to resentment, and your relationship with your money to reaffirm your addiction to lack. This means your emotions, your energy, are coming led, even bonded, with every person, place, or thing you experience in your known, familiar reality. And that means there is no energy available for you to recreate a new job, a new relationship, a new financial situation, a new life, or even a newly held body. Let me say it another way. Even how you think and how you feel determines frequency and information you're emitting in your energy field, which has a significant effect on your life. And if all your attention and so all your energy is tied up in your outer world of people, objects, things, places, and the time, there is no energy left in your inner world of thoughts and feelings. Therefore, the stronger the emotion you're addicted to, emotion, the stronger the emotion you're addicted to, the more you place in your attention on that person, object, place, or circumstances in your outer world. Oh, I see. I see. Giving away most of your creative energy and causing you to feel and think equal to everything you know. It becomes very difficult to think or feel in new ways when you're addicted to your outer world. And it's possible that you can become addicted to all the people and things in your life that are causing all your problems in the first place. That's how you give your power away and mismanage your energy. On the left side of the diagram, you see two atoms bonded in invisible field of energy. They're sharing information. It's energy that is bonding them together. On the right side in the diagram, you see two people who are sharing experience of resentment and who are also bonded with invisible field of energy that keeps them connected energetically. In truth, they're sharing the same energy and so the same information. Invisible field of energy, an atom bonded in a make molecule. Two people within the same emotions and in the same energy, sharing the same thoughts and emotions and bonded together. Okay. Okay. 맞아. Attraction이에요. Okay. Just like the two atoms and are bonded together form a molecule which share the energy and the information. When two people share the same emotions and energy and communicate the same thoughts and information, they become bonded together as well. In both cases, they are bonded by invisible field of energy that keeps them connected. If it takes energy to separate these two atoms, it is going to take energy and awareness to take our attention off the people and the condition in our life and that are given so much creative energy away to. To separate the two atoms, it takes energy. By the same means, if your attention and energy are bonded to the same people, places, and things in the outside physical world, you can understand that it's going to take energy and effort to break those bonds when we are in a meditation. This begs the question, how much of your energy, creative energy, is tied up in guilt, hatred, resentment, lack, or fear? The truth is that you could, using all the energy, to recreate a new destiny. Okay. To do that, they are going to have to get beyond all of these things in your outer world by taking your attention off them. That's why we use meditation as a model to change our internal state. Okay. This allows us to break down our associations to everybody, everyone, everything, everywhere, and every time, long enough to journey with them. Once you overcome your emotional body and you take your attention off everything not to you in your outer world, you call your energy back to you, breaking the bonds with your past present reality, which has been staying the same. You're going to have to make the transition from being somebody to being nobody, which means that you have to take your attention off your body, your pain, your hunger. You're going to have to go up being someone to being no one, taking your attention off your identity as a partner, a parent, and an employee. You will have to go from keeping your attention on something to placing your attention on nothing. Forgetting all about your cell phone, your emails, and you getting a cup of coffee. And from being somewhere to being nowhere. Getting beyond any thoughts about in the chair you are meditating in or where you are going later today. And from being in linear time to being in no time with no distracting memories and thoughts about the future. I'm not saying that your cell phone or your laptop or your car or your bank account is bad, but when you're overly attached to those things that capture your attention to such a degree that you can get beyond thinking about them because of the strong emotions you associate with them, those positions only. And then you can create something new. The only way to do that is learn to call all of that fractured energy back so you can overcome the emotions of survival that you haven't become addicted to and that keep all your energy beyond your past present reality. Once you take your attention off all those exterior elements, you start to weaken your energetic and emotional bonds within those things, and you finally begin to free up enough available energy to create a new future. 맞아요. That's going to require you to become aware of where you've been unconsciously placing your attention, and like separating the two atoms, it's also going to take some minutes to consciously break those bonds. 맞아요. That's supposed to happen because you're breaking the energetic bonds between yourself and your past reality. That's supposed to happen because you're breaking the energetic bonds between yourself and your same past reality. Yes. Anything that is no longer in a vibrational match between you and your future is going to fall away. Let it. Don't try to put your old life back together because you are going to be way too busy with a new destiny you're calling to yourself. If we are going to disconnect from outer world, you have to learn how to change your brain waves. So let's talk about brainwave frequencies for a moment. Most of the time that you're awake and conscious, you're in the better range of brainwave frequencies. Beta is measured at long range, medium range, and high range frequencies. Low range beta is the relaxed state when you don't perceive any threats from outer world. Low range beta. But you're still aware of your body in the space and the time. That's in a low grade beta. This is the state you are in when you're reading, paying attention to your daughter during a friendly conversation or listening to a lecture. Mid-range beta is a slightly more aroused state. Okay. Such as when you're in a group of people, introducing yourself, everyone for the first time, and you have to remember everyone's name. You're more vigilant, but you're not overly stressed or completely out of balance. Think of the mid-range beta as good stress. High range beta is in a state you're in when you're jacked up on the hormones of stress. These are the brain waves that you display when you exhibit any of the survivor emotions, including anger, alarm, agitation, suffering, grief, anxiety, frustration, or even depression. High range beta can be more than 3 times higher than low range beta and twice as high as mid range beta. Okay, low, mid, and a high ranged beta. Range beta. Okay. While you may spend most of your waking time in beta frequency and brain waves, you also dip into alpha frequency brain waves throughout your day. You display alpha brain waves when you're relaxed and calm, creative, and even intuitive, when you're no longer thinking or energizing, and instead of just dreaming or imagining, like in a trance state. In beta brain waves indicates when you are placing the majority of your attention on your outer world. Alpha brain waves indicate when you are placing more of your attention on your inner world. Okay, alpha brain or beta alpha. Beta alpha. 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 Theta frequency brain waves and take it away into twilight state when your mind is still awake, but your body is drifting off to sleep. This frequency is also associated with a deep state of meditation. Delta frequency brain waves and usually come during. Okay, I don't want to read this here. Okay. One of the biggest challenges in people have when they meditate is switching out of the high range and even mid range beta and sleep slipping into alpha and then theta brainwave frequencies is absolutely vital to do so though, because when they slow down their brainwaves to these and other frequencies, they're no longer paying attention to the outer world and all the distractions they're so used to thinking about when they're under stress. And since they're not analyzing or strategizing, try to prepare for the worst case scenario in their future based on their fearful memories of the past. They have an opportunity to become present, they exist only in the now. Wouldn't it be wonderful during a meditation to disconnect your association to all the events, elements in your outer environment, to get beyond your body, your fears, and your schedule, and you forget about your unfamiliar past and your predictable future? If you do it right, you will even lose your track of time. As you overcome your automatic thinking, your emotions, and your habits of meditation, that is exactly what happens. You get beyond your body, your environment, and time. You weaken the energetic bonds and which are in past and present reality and find yourself in the present moment. Only in the present moment can call you your energy back to you. Okay. This does take some effort, although it will get easier with the practice, because you are living by the hormones of stress most of the time. So let's look at what happens when you aren't in your present moment during meditation, so you will know how to handle that when it arises. Understanding this skill is important because if you can't get beyond your stress, your problems, and your pain, you can't create a new future where those things don't exist. So let's say that you're sitting in a meditation and then you start to have some straight thoughts. You are in a habit of thinking that way because you've been thinking the same way and putting your attention on the same people and things at the same time and place years now. And you have been automatically embracing the same familiar feelings on a daily basis just to reaffirm the same personality that's connected to your same personal reality, repeatedly conditioning your body into the past. The only difference now is that because you're trying to meditate and your eyes are shut. As you're sitting there with your eyes closed, you're not physically seeing your boss, But your body wants you to feel that anger because every time you see her in your waking day, 50 times a day, 5 days a week, you're in a habit of feeling bitterness or aggression. Similarly, you'll get email from her, which happens at least 10 times a day. You unconsciously have the same emotional reaction to her. Oh, so your body has grown accustomed to needing her to reaffirm your addiction to anger. It wants to feel the emotions that it hasn't become addicted to. And like an addict to craving a drug, the body is craving the familiar chemicals. It wants to feel the familiar anger at your boss because you didn't get the promotion. Or it wants to feel judgment about your coworker who always wants to cover for him. Then you start thinking about other colleagues who annoy you and other reasons to be upset with your boss. You're sitting there and trying to meditate. But your body isn't throwing the kitchen sink at you. That's because it wants as a chemical fix of familiar emotions that you normally feel throughout your waking day with your eyes open. The instant you notice what's happening, that you're putting all of your attention on that emotion, you become aware that you are investing your energy into the past because emotions are the records of the past. So you stop and return to the present moment and you begin to disinvest your attention and the energy out of the past. But then in a little while you start to feel frustrated and angry and resentful again, and you realize what you're doing. You remember that your body is trying to feel those emotions in order to reaffirm its addiction to those chemicals. And you remember that those emotions drive you brain into the high range of the beta brain waves, and you will stop. Every time you pause, settle your body down and return to the present moment, you're telling your body that is no longer the mind. You are the mind. Okay, but then thoughts start rippling into your mind about the people you have to see and the places you have to go and the things you have to do later that day. You wonder if your boss has answered the email yet. And you remember that you haven't returned to your sister's phone call either. And today's a trash day, so you remind yourself you need to put out the trash. And all of a sudden you become aware that by anticipating those future scenarios, you're investing your attention and your energy into the same known reality. So you stop, return to the present moment, and once more distinctive your energy up. That predictable, known future and make room for the unknown in your life. Take a look at figure 2.8. It shows that once you find yourself in that sweet spot of the generous and present moment, your energy represented by arrows no longer goes away from you to the past and the future the way it did it back in figure 2.3. Now you are divesting your energy from the familiar past and the predictable future. You are no longer firing and wiring the same circuits in the same way. And you are no longer regulating and signaling the same genes in the same way by feeling the same emotions. If you keep doing the process, you are continuously calling all that energy back to you by breaking the energetic bonds that keep you connected with your past, present reality. This happens because you are taking your attention and your energy off in the outer world and are placing it instead of your inner world, and you are building in your own electromagnetic field surrounding your body. Now you have a ball of energy that you can use and create something new. As you take your attention off in your past, present reality or your predictable future reality, you are calling energy back to you and building your own electromagnetic field. Now you have available energy energy to heal yourself, to create a new experience in your life. Not surprisingly, your attention eventually begins to wander again. As you continue to sit in the meditation, your body becomes more annoyed and impatient because it wants to do something. After all, you have programmed every day to get up and follow the same routine. It wants you in a quiet, meditating, open its eyes and see someone. No, focus, Irene. Focus. If a person tasted breakfast, instead of just sitting there and doing nothing, it would like in a small coffee brewing, like it does every morning, and it would love to feel something like in a hot shower before it starts the day. The body wants to experience the physical reality with its sense in order to embrace an emotion, but your goal is to create a reality from wood beyond your senses that is defined not by your body as the mind, but by you as the mind. So as you become aware of the program, you keep setting your body down into the present moment. The body tries again to return to the familiar past because it wants to engage in the predicted future. But you keep setting it back down. Each time you overcome those dramatic habits, your will becomes greater than your program. 맞아요. Every time you keep setting your body back to the present moment, like a training a dog to sit, you're reconditioning your body to new mind. Each time you become aware of the program and you labor for the present moment, you are stating that your will is greater than your program. And if you keep returning your attention and therefore your energy back to the present moment, and you keep noticing it when you are present and when you're not, sooner or later your body is not going to surrender. It is this process that continues returning to the present moment every time you become aware that you've lost it, and that begins to break the energetic bonds within a familiar non-reality. And when you return to the present moment, and what you're actually doing is getting beyond your physical world and identity and unfolding into the quantum field. A concept will be explained in detail in the next chapter. Oh my gosh. Irene, focus. The hardest part of every war is in the last battle. That means that when your body's mind is raging, causing you to think that it cannot go any further, wanting you to stop and return to the world of the senses. You keep reserving. Yeah. You surely stop entering unknown, and sooner or later you will begin to break the emotional addiction within you. When you get beyond your guilt, your suffering, your fear, your frustration, your resentment, or your unworthiness, you're feeling your body from the chains of those habits. Oh, 맞아요. And emotions that keep you anchored in the past. And as a result, you're liberating energy that is now coming back to you. As the body releasing all of this in a stored emotional energy, it is no longer becoming the mind. You discover that right on the other side of the appear is courage. Right on the other side of the light is wholeness. And just beyond your doubt is knowing. When you stop into the unknown and surrender your anger or hatred, you discover love and compassion. It's the same energy. It has just been stored in the body, and now it's available for you to use in a design a new destiny. So when you learn to overcome yourself or the memory of yourself and in your life, you break the bonds you have with everything, every person, every place, and every time that's keeping you connected to your past, present reality. And when you finally overcome your anger or your frustration, and you liberate energy that was trapped in your past. You call the energy back to you. As you liberate all that creative energy that has been tied up, and those suburban emotions within you and all around you, you're building your own personal energy field around your body. 그렇죠. Generous present moment. As that happens, and I'm thinking about the same people I have to see, the same place that I have to go, the same thing I have to do, all at the same time in my non-familiar reality. I realize that I'm priming my brain and the body look like. That future has already happened. I become conscious that my attention is in the known future, and I start anticipating the known and return back to the present moment. As I do that, I'm beginning to unfire and unwire those neural connections. Then I might get a little emotional and become impatient, and a little frustrated thinking about something that happened yesterday. And since the emotions are a record of the past and the right place and my attention is where I place my energy, I become aware that I invest my energy in the past. The hormones of stress may get my brain aroused, yeah, and my body gets in a bit further into a higher range. Better brain waves, and I have to settle it back down into the present moment again. 맞아요. And as I do that, I'm no longer fighting wearing the same circus in my brain, and I'm disinvesting my energy out of the past. And if I'm aware of the same thoughts and that are connected to those and the same familiar feelings, when I stop myself from feeling the same way, I'm no longer conditioning my body into the past, and I'm no longer signaling the same genes in the same ways. And if emotions are in the end the process of experiencing in the environment, and if it's the environment that signals the gene, then when I stop feeling those and the same emotions, I'm no longer selecting and instructing the same genes in the same ways. Then not only affects the health of my body, but it also no longer primes my body to be in the same future based on the living in the past. So as I inhabit those familiar feelings, I'm changing the genetic program owned by my body. And since there are hormones and long-term stress and don't expression of health disease and the create disease every time I am able to stop when I catch myself feeling any of those emotions that are related to stress. I'm no longer conditioning my body to stay addicted to the emotions of stress. 맞아요, 맞아. No familiar past. Now, no predictable future. No familiar past. Now, no predictable future. The generous present moment. When you're in the sweet spot of the generous present moment, your familiar past and your predictable future no longer exist, and now you're ready to create new possibilities in your life. 맞아요. That's right. If I do it properly, overcoming my familiar thoughts and emotions around my known past and future, then energetically, neurologically, biologically, chemically, hormonally, and genetically. That predictable future wasn't a familiar past, and I used it for me. No longer exist. If I'm no longer firing, no longer wiring those same old nutrient networks, but no longer thinking of those memories and people or things in certain times and places, and I keep returning to the present moment, I'm calling energy back to me. Take a look at figure 2.9 and you can see how the familiar past and predictive future no longer exist. Now I'm in the sweet spot of the generous present moment, and I have a very good energy to create. I built it on my energy field and surrounding my body. Every time I will labor, sometimes in 4 hours, to get beyond myself and then find the place in a cold and eternal now. And I truly break through. I've always thought that the same thing. There wasn't just a word that. 맞아요. 맞아요. The present moment. If you want to experience the supernatural in your own life by healing your body. Okay. By healing your body, creating new opportunities you could never have imagined before, and then having transcendent mystic experiences, you first need to master the concept of the present moment, the eternal now. There's a lot to talk about. Being present or being in the now these days. While most people understand the basics of it and what that means, not to think about the future or live in the past. I want to offer you a completely different understanding of the concept. It's going to require that you get beyond the physical world, including your body, your identity, your environment, and even beyond time itself. This is the way you turn possibility into reality. After all, if you don't get beyond who you think you are, and the way you've been conditioned to believe the world works, it's not possible to create a new life or your new destiny. So in a very real sense, you have to get out of your own way, transcend the memory of yourself as your destiny, and allow something greater than you, something mystical, to take over. In this chapter, I'm going to explain how that works. Okay, that's good. Okay, 죄송해요. When you fire and wire the same circuits in your brain over and over again because you keep thinking the same thoughts, your heart wires your brain into the same patterns. As a result, your brain becomes an artifact of your past thinking, and in time it becomes easier to automatically think in the same ways. At the same time, as you repeatedly feel the same emotions over and over again, since I just said, emotions are the vocabulary of the body and the chemical residue of the past experiences. You are conditioning your body into the past. So now let's look at what that means for on your day-to-day basis. Given what just learned about the feeling and emotions and being the chemical and the process of the past events, the moment you wake up in the morning and the search for the familiar feeling called you're starting your day in the past. So when you start to think about your problems, those problems in which you're connected to the memories of the past experiences of different people or things at certain times and places, create familiar feelings such as unhappiness, futility, sadness, pain, grief, anxiety, worry, frustration, unworthiness, or guilt. Those emotions are driving your thoughts, and you cannot think greater than how you feel. Then you are also thinking in the past. And if those are familiar emotions and influences the choices you're going to make that day, the behaviors you are going to exhibit, or the experiences you are going to create for yourself, then you are going to appear predictable and your life isn't going to stay the same way. If you keep doing these in the same routines over and over again, they will become a habit. A habit is a redundant set of automatic, unconscious thoughts, behaviors, and emotions that are acquired through frequent repetition. Basically, it means that your body is now on autopilot, running a series of programs, and over time, your body becomes the mind. You've done this in a routine so many times that your body automatically knows how to do certain things better than your brain or conscious mind. You just switch on autopilot and go unconscious, which means you will wake up the next morning and essentially do the same things and all over again. In a very real sense, your body is dragging you into the same predictable future based on what you've been repeatedly doing in the same familiar past. You will think the same thoughts and then make the same choices that lead to the same behaviors that create the same experiences that produce the same emotions. Over time, you will create a set of hardwired neurological networks in the brain, and you have emotionally conditioned your body to live in the past, and that past becomes your future. If you're looking at the same timeline of your day, starting with waking up in the morning and continuing until you go to bed at the night, you could pick up the timeline of your yesterday or today your past and place in the space reserved for tomorrow, the future. Because essentially the same actions you took today are the ones that you're going to take tomorrow, and the day after day, and the day after day. Let's face it, if you keep the same routines as yesterday, it makes sense that your tomorrow is going to a lot like your yesterday. Your future is just a rerun of your past. That's because your yesterday is creating your tomorrow. Each of those vertical lines represents the same thought that leads to the same choice, that initiates an automatic behavior that creates an unknown experience that produces a familiar feeling or an emotion. If you keep reproducing the same sequence, in time all those individual steps merge into one automatic program. This is how you lose your free will to a program. We could say that your mind and body are in the known, the same predictable future based on what you did in the same familiar past. And in that known certain future, there is no room for the unknown. In fact, if something new happened, if something unknown were to unfold in your life at the moment to change the same predictable timeline of your day, you'd probably be annoyed and disrupted of your routine. You'd likely consider it troublesome, problematic, and downright inconvenient. You might say, "Can you come back tomorrow? This is not the right time." A habit is a redundant set of automatic unconscious thoughts, behaviors, and emotions that develop through repetition. It's when you've done something so many times of your body is programmed to become the mind. Over time, your body is dragging you to predictable future based on what you've been doing in the past. Therefore, if you're not in the present moment, you're probably in the program. The fact is, there's no room for the unknown in a predictable life. Okay, and of course you're right, but that's because you're the same. By the same means, if you're in an automatic program and you cannot predict the feeling of experiencing in your life, you will probably be hesitant to engage in. You need to look at it in more aspect of thinking and the feeling to get full picture of what's happening when you keep living the same state of being. This thinking feeling loop also produces a measurable electromagnetic field that surrounds our physical bodies. Emotions and energy motion. All energy is frequency, and all frequency carries information. Based on our personal thoughts and feelings, we are always sending and receiving information. Oh, okay. So, if we are recreating the past So, if we are recreating the past day after day, thinking the same thoughts, and are feeling the same emotions. We are broadcasting the same electromagnetic field over and over again, sending out the same energy with the same message. From the perspective of energy and information, this means that the same energy of our past continues to carry the same information, which then keeps creating the same future. Our energy then is essentially equal to our past. The only way we can change our lives is to change our energy. To change the electromagnetic field, we are constantly broadcasting. In other words, to change our state of being, we have to change how we think and how we feel. In the same way, if your attention is constantly on our people you have to see, the places you have to go, the things you have to do at a certain time in your non-familiar reality, then you are siphoning your energy out of the present moment and into the predicted future. If those familiar emotions are connected to the memory of some past event involving a person or an object in a particular place and time, then your attention and your energy are in the past as well. As its consequences, you're siphoning your energy out of the present moment into your past. By the same means, if you start to think about all the people you have to see, the things you have to do, and the places you have to go at a certain time in your routine day, you're siphoning your attention and energy into a predictable known future. All of your energy is now completely coming back with those non-expressed in the specific line of the time. Your energy is creating more of the same, and your body is going to follow your mind to the same events in your same reality. Your energy is being directed out of your present moment and into the past and the future. As a result, you have a very little energy left to create an unknown experience in new timeline. Do I really need to do that? No, I don't think so. So now, let me ask you this. Could it ever be possible for your body to stop following your mind to the unknown? If so, you can see that you will have to change where you put your attention, and that would lead to changing your energy, which would require you to change how you think and how you feel long enough for something new to happen. While it may sound incredible, this is indeed possible. If you're familiar with my work, you know that I'm loved within a concept of mental rehearsal. I'm fascinated by how we can change the brain as well as the body by thought alone. Think about that for a moment. If you focus on your attention on a specific imaginary in your mind, and become very present and with the sequence of repeated thoughts and feelings, your brain and the body will not know the difference between what is occurring in the outer world and what is happening in your inner world. So, when you're fully engaged and focused, the inner world of imagination will appear as an outer world experience, and your biological will change accordingly. That means you can make your brain and the body look as if a physical experience has already happened, without them having an actual experience. But you put your attention on your mentally rehearse and over again, not only becomes who you are from the biological perspective, it also determines your future. The before and after brain scans show the boson groups created a dramatic number of the new neural circuits and a new neurological program in the region of your brains that controls the finger movements, even though one group did so by thought alone. So if they were to start praying after 5 days of mental practice, their behaviors would become easily aligned with their conscious. intentions because they primed their brain of an experience ahead of time. That's how powerful of the mind can be once trained. Each of these three muscles studies show how mental rehearsals not only changes the brain but can also change the body by thought alone. In other words, by practicing behaviors in their mind and consciously reviewing the activity on a regular basis, the bodies of the subject looked like they've been physically performing the activity, and yet they never did the exercise. Those who added the emotional component of doing the exercise as hard as possible to intensity of their mental imaginary made the experience even more real and the results more pronounced. You can see why when you wake up in the morning and start thinking about the people you have to see, the places that you have to go, and the things you have to do in your busy schedule, that's mentally rehearsing, and then you add an intense emotion to it, like suffering or unhappiness, frustration. Since experience enriches Since experience enriches the brain and creates an emotion that signals the body, when you continuously create an inward experience that is real as an outer experience, over time you are going to change your brain and the body just like any real experience would. In fact, when you wake up and start thinking about your day, neurologically, biologically, chemically, and even genetically, which I will explain in the next section, it looks as though that day has already happened for you. And in fact, it has. Once you actually start the days and activities and just in the experiments above, your body is naturally and automatically going to behave equal to your conscious or unconscious intentions. If you've been doing the same things for years and those circuits as well as the rest of your biology are more readily and easily activated. That's because not only do you prime your biology every day with your mind, but also recreate some physical behaviors in order to reinforce those experiences further in your brain and body. And it actually becomes easier to go unconscious every day because you keep mentally and physically reinforcing the same habits over again, creating the habit of behaving by habit. We used to think that genes created disease and that we were at the mercy of their DNA. So if many people in someone's family died in a heart disease, we assumed that their chances of also developing heart disease would be pretty high. But we now know, through the science of epigenetics, that it's not the gene that creates a disease, but the environment that programs our genes to create a disease. And not just an external environment outer of our body, cigarette smoke or pesticides, for example, but also an internal environment within our body, the environment outside ourselves. What do I mean by that? I'm sorry. What do I mean by environment within our body? As I said previously, emotions and chemical feedback, the end of the product experiences we have in our external environment. So, as we react to the situation in our external environment that produces an emotion, the resulting internal chemistry can signal our genes to either turn on, upregulating or producing an increased expression of gene, or to turn off, downregulating or producing a decreased expression of the gene. The gene itself doesn't physically change, the expression of the gene changes, and that expression is what matters most because that is what affects our health and our lives. Thus, even though some may have a genetic predisposition for the particular disease, for example, if their genes continue to express health instead of expressing the disease, they won't develop a condition and will remain healthy.